And we'll go to the honourable member for Fundy Royal for 5 minutes, the right to reply to conclude this debate. Honourable member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to thank my honourable colleagues for their thoughtful perspectives and overwhelming support for efforts to increase immigration to Atlantic Canada. This debate in the House of Commons has drawn attention to this critical call to action as Atlantic Canadians look for ways to achieve a more prosperous future, a future that allows for the repatriation of our youth, economic growth, and sustainability of communities throughout the region. Immigration will play a role in the outcome of all of these factors. I would also like to thank the Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Citizenship, Refugees and Immigration for his friendly amendment to Motion 39, which recognizes the challenges associated with the retention of newcomers to Atlantic Canada. I am pleased with this amendment, and to respond to my honourable colleague from Calgary Nose Hill, I think this amendment actually broadens the scope of the study for the committee. I want to thank her for her comments today and also for her extensive work on this file. I think the study of retention is incredibly important and will add to the study of the Atlantic Growth Strategy. Now, she may not be familiar with the strategy as it was conceived by the 32 MPs from Atlantic Canada and supported by the government. I think it's essential that Parliament sees the effect of this strategy. By studying factors that increase retention rates of the newcomers, the committee will not only contribute to the success of the government's Atlantic Canadian immigration pilot, which is a component of the Atlantic Growth Strategy, it will also provide a point of reference for best practices. The practices can then be shared across Canada, knowing that national demographic projections show that all regions of Canada will be impacted by an aging population. Atlantic Canada is facing the impact first. I believe best retention practices will include much broader actions in government policy. I believe increased retention will only happen when communities, employers, and individuals take steps to ensure that newcomer families will not only be settled into their work life, but also be involved in their communities. Extra efforts need to happen in rural areas to help newcomers develop support systems, because that happens a little more naturally in urban areas with larger immigrant communities.
During this debate, my colleagues have raised concerns about the protection of the French language. I agree that we need to pay special attention to the need for Francophone immigrants in the Atlantic provinces, and particularly in my province of New Brunswick, which is the only officially bilingual province in Canada. According to New Brunswick's Commissioner of Official Languages, the federal and New Brunswick governments should make sure that the proportions of Francophone and Acadian communities are respected. Immigration, according to the Commissioner, is the only way of increasing Canada's population, and New Brunswick's Francophone population is no exception to that rule.
During the course of this debate, I have also heard concerns from my colleagues about the Temporary Foreign Worker Program and the Provincial Nominee Program, with the suggestion that this pilot was introduced without consultation. This government has consulted and listened to Canadians, and it certainly has consulted with Atlantic provinces. I am confident that the government will deliver based on the feedback received and look forward to the announcement of immigration levels on November 1st. I'm also proud that this government's Atlantic immigration pilot was announced in July and was absolutely developed with the premiers of Atlantic Canada. It is designed to work in concert with the existing programs that are already contributing to the economic and demographic stability of the Atlantic region. In fact, I was fortunate enough to be part of the Minister of Immigration's consultations with industry, and I also know that he's met with the premiers and economic advisors. All have confirmed that we need to grow the workforce in a targeted way that supports long-term sustainability. The growth of the economy will require more aggressive means than the Provincial Nominee Program and the use of temporary foreign workers. Mr. Speaker, historically, Canada has prospered when immigration was part of the plans for economic development. Studying the best ways to attract and retain immigrants in Atlantic Canada will benefit the entire country. I am pleased to have brought this debate to the House of Commons and to have provided the opportunity for parliamentarians to make a significant difference in the lives of my constituents of Fundy Royal, of Atlantic Canadians, and of all Canadians. Because when Atlantic Canada does better, all of Canada does better. To that end, I ask my colleagues of this House for support for motion number 39. Thank you.
Great job, Alaina.
La question est la suivante.
The question is as follows. Ms. Lockhart.
Cumberland Colchester moved that the Standing Committee on Citizenship and Immigration be instructed to undertake a study on immigration to Atlantic Canada to consider, among other things, 1, the challenges associated with an aging population and shrinking population base, 2, possible recommendation on how to increase immigration to the region, and that the committee report its findings to the House within 1 year of the adoption of this motion. Amendment by Mr. Burani, seconded by Ms. Petipa-Taylor. May I dispense? Very good. The question on the amendment. Is it the pleasure of the House to adopt the amendment? All those in favour, please say yea. Yea. All those against, please say nay. Carried. Thank you. The next question on the main motion as amended. The question is as follows. Ms. Lockhart, seconded by Mr. Casey Cumberland Colchester, moved that the Standing Committee on Citizenship and Immigration be instructed to undertake a study. May I dispense? Very good. Is it the pleasure of the House to adopt this motion as amended? All those in favour, please say yea. Yea. All those opposed, please say nay. Nay. Okay. In my opinions, the yeas have it. Pursuant to Standing Order 93, the recorded division stands deferred until Wednesday, November 2nd, 2016, at the beginning of private members' business. In accordance with Standing